but it's been a long week for me. But we are here nonetheless, so let's get to it. Um, few things. I wanted to kind of just hop on here and talk to you all about that I'm going to be doing again. I know for a while we said I told you all that I was taking a break from doing like my long form videos because I was just trying to sort everything out and get some type of balance. Well, I have a little bit of balance. And it would be a lot easier for me to be able to take my time, go through thoroughly, and talk about the plants and so forth, than for me to get on here on live and to be able to kind of freestyle it. Now, one thing I do like about our lives is that they always allow me every day to get some time to just be attentive and figure out what's going on with the plants and so forth. And really, this, as you all have been here, this fall and winter season it actually hasn't been that bad for me for my plants. They've actually done really, really, really good. Um, I'm getting very excited about some of the plants that I plan on purchasing this summer. One being I want to get another lemon lime philodendron. Not lemon lime philodendron, sorry, lemon lime neon. The one that I have that has mealybugs, I think we're gonna go ahead and just cut that one out. I'm gonna give it one more treatment. I gave it some rubbing alcohol on top of it, just sprayed it. I already had the S&S. Good morning, Gigi, how you doing? Um, I put the S&S in there and we're just gonna see how everything continues to go. But really I've had this plant in the pest cabinet for about eight months now, maybe 9 months, maybe a little bit longer than that. But guys, the plant only costs like 15 bucks to get. And I'm a little worried that me trying not to get rid of that plant is causing me to keep having outbreaks with my other plants because all the rest of them are clearing up really well. And that was the only one that I was seeing some visible signs of mealybugs. So I could just get rid of that problem and that be it. A couple of other things that I'm just going to be taking a look at it over the summer. One of them is another monstera. I don't know if you all have ever heard of the Bulbasaurus. I do want to be on a look for that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that in a tissue culture or if I'm going to be able to get it in a 2-inch or a 4-inch plant size with that because I do not know the price and depending on how much it is. I'm willing to go up for a decent sized plant, at least something in a 6-inch. What's going on, George? I'm willing to spend about $100 to $150 on a decent size plant. The reason why is because I only plan on buying maybe 4 to 5 plants this summer. I just don't have the room to get any more than that. All of these plants are taken off. I do plan on doing some cuttings over the spring as well to be ready for the summertime. Now I do plan on doing some giveaways and just seeing what's going to happen with that. Other than that, though, we are getting some rain outside, so it's a little bit dimmer in here than what I'm used to. But again, that's why I like to use the grow lights. I like your room. Thank you. What's up, Chubby? Dr. Studio, what's going on? That's why I like to have grow lights in here. If you keep grow lights in your room, you never have to worry about doing anything like that. So grow lights. Now, I did talk to you all last time about grow lights, what I was going to be doing. I'm going to be adding about 2 more sets of grow lights in here. Now, I would like to get one grow light to shine right here to allow it to shine on the back of these plants. I feel like it would really just benefit on them to be able to grow on the other side and to be able to trail down. That's where I'm at right now. I want a lot of plants to be able to trail down and do great. What's the plant on the wall? That's a Rhaphodorphia T. I'm gonna go with that. I think it's Tetrarium, something like that. But if you type in Rhaphodorphia T, it'll pop up. I've had this one probably about 3 years, something like that. I have cut from it 2 times. I have not cut from it in the last year or so. And as you could tell right over there, it's actually hanging off the wall and coming forward. I want to be able to hook it on the back of the wall and allow it just to grow. Gets pretty decent light. This is where the pot is located at, actually down here. And it does get a light that's able to shine in there. And that helps a lot to help with the soil and stuff a whole lot. Let me see. How do you keep the leaves? Mine only grow on the end. I don't know. I would say just check with your lighting. Just make sure that your light is pretty good. I do know that if they dry out as well, they're not forgiving. So if they dry out and you forget to water them, a lot of times the leaves will start just to crust over and fall off. But just make sure they're getting some light. And if you give them some type of support, they seem to do pretty well. That's one plant that I haven't had a whole lot of problems with. All right. Okay, guys. So give you all some updates. What's going on? I said when I was coming in, but I am going to be going back to doing our long form videos. Now, if there are, this is your lucky time. If you have some, what we stop calling him chubby. That's not nice. Oh, I appreciate that, but I already know when people do stuff like that, they're just trolling. They don't mean nothing by it. We're good. I am going to be doing the long form videos. Those are going to be coming back. So if you have anything that you do want me to talk about and to cover, please put it down here. Because I feel like, and that's the reason why I took a break, was that I was just talking about the same things over and over again. But I want to talk about some things that you all actually really want to know. I know I like going to the plant stores and the nurseries when it gets into springtime, of course. Only thing I hate about it is going to be the mosquitoes and so forth like that. But I do, I can't concentrate. Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. Yeah, the thing is that people are, hey bro, just making sure. Yeah. Anyway, guys, so that's going to be some of the things I'm going to be doing, is shooting content from actual inside the nursery. I've done really good on building a relationship with a lot of the owners and the managers. So I know that they're completely fine with me coming in, setting up, and just kind of filming and talking about some of our common house plants. I think that would be something really, really cool that you might be interested in. And you also get to kind of see what my mindset is like when I go into the plants, when I go into the plant nursery and look at them. It's a lot different than what it used to be. When I used to go into my nurseries, I used to, I'm gonna show you all a few plants while we're talking. When I used to go to the nurseries, all I wanted to do was just buy the plant that looks the best, you know, of course. But I wasn't really focused on the care of a plant until I started realizing, what we got going on here. What's your favorite house plant? Right here. One of them. So you can't tell the plants what's your favorite house plant, because if you do, the other plant's gonna start dying. So this is just one of the favorites. And the reason why is because this one is a very, very easy going plant. Now, if you watched a couple of videos, then you know that the philodendron strawberry shake is by far one of the prettiest plants that I do have. And I actually have that plant upstairs right now. Humidity down here in this room is sucking. It's pretty, it hasn't been the best. And for a lot of hybrid plants, if you are not able to get them that humidity and that perfect setting, especially philodendrons, you're gonna deal with a whole lot of leaf stuck. So upstairs in the bathroom, humidity is gonna get in there all the time from the showers and so forth. I'm gonna allow that to stay there until I find a bag big enough to put it in. Last live or the live before that, it was suggested that I get a trash bag to be able to put it in and keep the humidity in. Now I'm running into the problem of trying to, what's going on? How you doing? Now I'm running into the problem that I need to find a clear bag because I still want to see the plant while I do that. I also have a greenhouse that I could put in there too as well, but I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So we'll have to just see. But anyway, guys, so this right here, though, I've had this plant for about 3, maybe 4 years, and it just started. I appreciate that. I had this plant for about 3, 4 years, and it didn't really take off. It was a very, very slow grower, and then all of a sudden, you can even tell by the thickness right here. See this right here? Now take a look at the thickness right here. That's going on pretty good. All right, guys, I see y'all in there. I appreciate everything, but let's be cool. We all about love and peace here. You know, we might have said some stuff just being funny or going on, but we all here, we all brotherly. Let's just have some fun and talk about these plants. If you all see what's going on out here in this world, we don't need nothing else going on like that. Is a super, I don't even know what that is. But yeah, so this right here, though, it's a very easy going house plant if you all want to just take a look into it. Go to your Home Depot, love. Love your plants. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that. How you doing today? It is Friday. I'll tell you that, and I feel it. That's another thing, guys. I have officially, we talked about a time or two before, but my clothing line store is available now. So if you get some time, you want to go to grownontuesday.com, grownontuesday.com, or you can go to the Instagram and check out Grown on Tuesday. You can take a look at some of the stuff that we have to offer. The main purpose of this is we're going to be going live, like going to different places and setting up pop-up shops and so forth. But I also wanted to make sure it's available to people who may live 4, 5 hours and so forth away from me. So and you can still buy the merch and support if that's what you want to do. But again, guys, this right here, you can get this from Home Depot. I paid $9 for it. And I believe lighting was a problem with it once that plant started to go. The logo on the wall is so nice. Yeah, we was actually just talking about that one earlier. That's the Raffadophia. We need to attach it right over here. Guys, there was nothing more to talk about our philodendron here. Pretty much you give it a little bit of light. I started giving mine a lot more grow light, and that's when the plant started taking off. So they'll do good in low light, but they'll do better in better light. Over here, this is the Raffadophia right here. I need to take this and attach it to the wall over there so that way it can continue growing because it's not really getting a lot of light up there at the top. Now, these leaves and the plant, I believe when it vines, it does do a little bit of turning, but really if I want this plant to be completely stable, then I'm going to have to attach it to the wall and to make it look good. And we talked about this one right here. This is the Epiprenarium albo, and it looks really, really good right now. What happened was I forgot to water it, and these plants are they don't play that crap. When you don't water these plants, they'll dry out and they'll act up. Forgot to water it, and I started having some type of problem where it was drying out with the leaves. Gave it water, and I had a little bit of yellow leaves. So what's going on, Gigi? Good morning. So that's what I have. Yes, these will drop leaves. Yes, they're very, very feisty plants. They are not easygoing plants. This is my third or fourth one, by the way. First time I lost it to mealybugs or to dryness. Either way, one of them was I didn't water it and it died out. Second one was mealybugs. Third one, I believe I had this plant. It was another one. Yep, it was another one. So this is the fourth one. Now, the third one was the one I spent the most money on. After that one, I was completely done with it. It's about 10 feet long. It has 5 leaves. Just cut it back some. Go ahead and cut it. If it's that long and it's doing good, that means you probably have, or you don't even have to cut it. What I would do is just, if you only get like one leaf all the way at the end and the rest of this is just thin, just do a wrap around inside the pot and put something on top of it. Now, I actually know where it's at right now. I can show you. These right here. You can get these from Amazon. I haven't added it to my Amazon store, so unfortunately you can't just go into the link and hit it. But they're called Norling 100 plastic G-vining fixing clips. You can type in plant clips or whatever it is. I can send you the link. If you DM me on Instagram, I'll send you the link because that's how I got it. I had somebody send me their link. These work really, really good. You take one of these on out the bag and you can place, instead of having to get a rock and so forth, you just place your nodes wherever you want them to be. Let's turn this right here. You place your node and then all you have to do is just fasten that down in there. That was a bad example. Let's see here. Fasten it down in there and it'll stay. That's another one. Same thing here. Let's just say we want to put this right here, bring this in more. I would just take my pen, go in between here. That's picking it up. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to wrap it in there. And this is making me look crazy. Okay. And here go another piece, and we're just going to job that in there. Anyway, you can go around instead of putting your stuff in there, and this will support and help the weight out when it comes to it. A little bit easier than a rock. Now, these right here, again, once they get any type of pest or anything like that, you got to actively get on them right there. They are not as forgiving as the rest, but they are so beautiful, and they grow really fast when they're given in the right condition. Now, I will say when it comes to soil, one thing that I messed up on the other ones was putting this plant into a real chunky, airy mix. They do not like that. They do like to sit in moisture. Not soggy. Okay, so when you touch it, it feels a little bit moist, a little damp. That's okay, but it does not want to be completely soggy. And what I do is I still allow this plant to dry out in between, not all the way dry out, but I still allow it to get about halfway dry before I do a watering every once in a while. And we'll put that there. Now this plant doesn't get a grow light. It just sits over here by the window. This is where the plant sits at right here, and it just has the window that it gets. Now also, I know we talked about this one the other day, but you can see this plant is doing really good. Do I grow roses? I do not. Before we moved at our old house, I planted 2 rose bushes. One of them was a reddish pink one, whatever that one was. And the other one was it started off as white, then it turned to orange, and it turned to pink, and then it eventually faded off to, I think, just a whitish color before it died. But that was my favorite one. I will always have it. My goal is to have like an actual rose bush garden outside at some point, not here, at some other point. And I believe that they have something called like a African black rose. And I just think that if I can get those black roses and red roses just in a patch together, just hedged up, maybe in like a heart shape or something like that, I think that would just be beautiful to be outside. Also, I want to get like some azaleas and just kind of get those all in different ways. I have something outside in the front. I don't know what it is. They do pretty good. I also have some Shasta daisies outside. And I also have a garden that was outside last year. Then we're going to be bringing that back this year. Hopefully I can do a much better job with keeping the pests away. I know that a lot of people recommended to me get 7 killers. I've seen it in the store, but I didn't know if I wanted to get it or not. But I am going to get it because a lot of the bugs beat me to the food. Like I don't mind sharing with outside, but dang, like I only had 4 bell peppers that came on there. Could I at least get 1? I mean, they all was on all 4 of them, and they got to be pretty daggone big. And that's going to be another thing is me just knowing when to actually pluck and pull stuff. I think I left some vegetables on there just a little bit longer than what I had to. I know my cabbage grew all right, and my lettuce, that grew really well. Tomatoes grew halfway decent. If you get that garden going, please share. I absolutely will. I did it last year, so I'm definitely going to share this year. I'm actually going to do some long form videos on the stuff that I actually used and how it went. The only thing I'm going to switch from my garden last year for this year is going to be the spray I could put down. I want it to be something natural that's not going to make anybody sick. You're great. Have to go. Have a good day. I hope you have a wonderful day too. Have a good weekend, okay? You got a P.O. box. I can send you some 7 Sister Rose bushes. My husband started our garden last year. Yeah, smart. You know it's smart. Everything going on right now, they're taking the seeds out, the vegetables and all of that. So that way we can't even grow our own food. So yes, start growing your own food. It's natural. Like it's weird sometimes getting food that doesn't have any seeds in it that used to have it. I still think that when I grew up, I had seeds was in grapes. That's weird getting grapes without no seeds. Now they have oranges, they have apples. I mean, all that stuff that had seeds. Now they don't. I mean, I know you can pay attention and they have seeded and seedless, but it's just a different time. I remember when they did that a couple of years ago with the watermelon. You get a seeded or a non-seeded. And at first, I thought a seedless watermelon was freaking awesome. Like, I can enjoy this watermelon without having to spit out seeds. But how are you getting the seeds out the watermelon? And we can all say it's the type that you grow it in and all that type. No. It's for regulation of food to be able to control and so forth and keep you buying as a consumer. I get it. I completely get it. It's how the world works, I guess. But if you ever had the time, well, you said your husband started it, so you know that when you tasting a tomato out your actual garden, that's undefeated compared to one in the store. One in the store has no flavor. First of all, it's not soft, it's hard. It's not really reddish. It's like a grayish red tint. Feels like it's been spray painted on. You cut it. Sometimes they have juice, but for the most part, they're dry and stiff and they just stay there. Versus you get a tomato out your garden, it's soft. You get ready to cut, the juice popping you in the eye as you trying to cut it. I mean, and the smell is so good. It's like sweet. You almost want to eat the tomato as you're cutting it for whatever. And when we was coming up, we had tomato and mayonnaise sandwiches and stuff like that. I forgot what real tomato tastes homegrown has been the best. Exactly, it just has. Now I want to grow some cucumbers. That's what I need to learn how to do. And the thing is, it was one more other thing that I wanted to grow too. I grew bell peppers, banana peppers, jalapenos, rosemary, lettuce, tomato. I felt like it was one other onion. I feel like there's one more other thing I grew that I'm missing, but the thing is, I gotta read and make sure I catch it in season because I started my garden late last year. I started it in like I want to say it was the end of April, beginning of May, and you some of that stuff it needs like 90 days for it to be able to grow. So you could pull that stuff out at the beginning of June, and you could still get something out coming out very well at the end of August. A whole nother harvest again. Now that lettuce, the one that I had planted, I forgot the exact name of it, but I got it from Lowe's. It was the all green one at the top. It grew up. That stuff, I kid you not, I would cut that lettuce, and within like 2 weeks, it'd be back full again. And I only planted 6 of those. And some animal, I don't know what, I don't know if rabbits eat lettuce, but someone was eating 2 of them. And I left it alone and I didn't press it as being a big deal because they didn't bother anything else. But then other bugs and stuff started bothering the rest of the garden. Again, I don't mind having a little bit of vegetables for outside. I don't care about that. But of course, they don't know how to control themselves sometimes. But that's what I am going to be doing. So actually March, I need to go ahead and be starting on the garden. I know I used the Miracle Grow garden, I believe in pot gardening soil, or it was for raised bed. That's what I used. It was raised bed. It might not have been Miracle Grow. I believe I bought it from my local nursery store. I'll take a picture of it though and make sure I share it. But it was raised bed soil that I used because I went to Lowe's and I bought these little borders. There was like this. It's over there by the outside. If you go outside to where they have the outside pots and the railings that you can throw your plants on, or the stake that you can put down and hook your hanging plant on that can hang outside, right around there, they had raised beds and all of that. I bought one of the little set. It was a plastic one. It was brown. It came with about 16 to 20 pieces, and you could just build it however way you want to, in a square, rectangle, however way. And I laid down, I made sure I broke the soil up where I was gonna put it at with the shovel. And then I put the black tape down. It was more like a shade barrier. It wasn't necessarily for just to build a floor, but I just wanted to be something that I could pick up. And if I wanted a patch of grass to be able to grow in, I didn't know how vegetables and all that stuff work. I thought it grows like tobacco. Tobacco, you use one area, the next year the soil may not be as rich, so you go to another. Clearly, I don't think it works like that, but who knows? But that's what I did, and everything came out pretty good. I had no grass growing through. Borders were great. I think they cost like $24, and maybe I think I bought 2 of them because I ended up using one of them for an actual flower bed, and then I used the other one over there for the mini garden. And I'm thinking about expanding the garden maybe out, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the mini flower bed. I had mums that was in there, and they were so beautiful, yellow and orange. And I could probably move those somewhere else. Typically, I would put them around the mailbox or at the end of the road. But I bought this. It's called a Mexican Petunia, something like that. It grows almost like a tree form, but it's a plant and it sprouts out different places. And in the morning time, it blooms these beautiful lavender looking buds. By the afternoon, they've completely fallen down. But they do shoots like that like every morning. So the plant never gets born. It bloomed all the way from May, all the way very well. We went into October and it still was going in. I actually had to cut it down. I cut it 2, if not 3 times last year because I put it around the mailbox pole and it started growing. Whenever it gets close to where the actual mailbox is about to open, about right here, I go ahead and chop it down. And I kid you not, like a month, it would grow. If this was where the soil is at, it'll grow like this in about a month. Now, I did take outside and I did give it a little bit of fertilizer. I was feeding it every morning, watered it every morning, unless it rained or something the night before, but watered it every morning before the sun came up. And it stayed out in the sun, direct sun, all day long. Completely fine, beautiful plant. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I have going on this year. Not really a whole lot of new plants I'm gonna put outside because I already put enough out last year. They're gonna come back. The Shasta daisies, those are annuals, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Shastas, but daisies just in general, they're pretty big. But the Shastas, they get to be huge, and they sprout up something like every day too. So they keep it interesting out there. And I also have, I'll finish off with this one that I have out there. Oh, I forgot the name of it, but it turns different. It turns different colors. That's not meaning anything. Sorry. When I think of the name, I'll definitely share it. Me and my Oma, we was looking for those plants like crazy. Coneflowers. So I have a assorted coneflower out there, and so one of them it shoots up, just different ones put together. It's a red, pink, yellow, all of those. They just all shoot up, and they do pretty good. And they're right there in the proximity of where the Shasta daisies is at. So it just kind of blends in. You have these two big white tall plants that's up there in the front, and then you have this color that almost look purple sometimes, but like a burgundy and red and orange and yellow color that just peeks through. The house looks so beautiful during that time of the year when they start coming out. Only thing I don't like about it is the bees. And it's close by the front door, so it's not so much me because I go through the garage all the time, me, the wife, kids. It's when we have guests come over and they are like, get in the house. But yeah. But anyway, guys, if you all don't have anything to talk about, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and get to it. Remember, if you're watching this video, whether it's live or you're doing a recap of it, put down there at the bottom of a couple of things you would like for me to talk about. I know I talked about we was going to be going to the plant store, doing a couple of videos like that. We're going to do a through-in-depth of, we'll do a recap of how I got started into the actual plants and what was the next step and some of the things that I had to run into with the issue. I talked about it. I'm a man going to the store asking about different type of plants and stuff. So it's always just a little taken back just a little bit. But then they're like, when they see that I'm really serious about it, you have an amazing day as well, Gigi. When they're always taken back about it, then that happens. But I appreciate you all. You all be safe, and I will see you all next week. Y'all take care.